Ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering, why am I in the crawl space of my house? Well, it's because I'm fired up. And I'm only on my second cup of coffee. And I can't have this chit chat with you in any other room of the house because my son is asleep. And my voice is going to carry up through the joists into his room. And the energy is going to wake him up, and he just went down. But I've got something very important that I want to talk to you about, okay? And this kind of ties in with the last video that I made. I will link that is somehow, I don't know. But let's talk a little bit about optimal bros, okay? And I'm not necessarily picking on anyone in particular or the bros in general. You know, I support the gym bros and the people who are grinding. But the idea of it's got to be optimal. Well, I've got to do it this way, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to talk specifically whenever it comes to freaking sleep, okay? So what is optimal about sleep? 7-8 hours. There's studies on it, whatever. You could find whatever you want to suit your fancy online. But here's the reality of life whenever things get busy, whenever you have a family, whenever you get married, whenever you have a freaking career change or just like responsibilities adding up out the wazoo. What are you going to do whenever you could only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep at any given point? What happens if you could only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep one day or 2 days a week or 3 days a week? What happens if you start getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep, 5 or 6 hours of sleep, 6-7 days a week? And that's what happens whenever you have a kid. That's what happens whenever you have serious life change, or you have, things that happen around your house. You got to take care of stuff. You got to fix things. You get a new job. You got to put in extra hours because you want that promotion. So what are you going to do? Just wait until you get 7 or 8 hours of optimal sleep to train? No, that's silly. That is wasting time. That is wasting your gains. Okay. If you get 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep and you say, well, I'm just going to wait until the next time whenever I get good quality 7-8 hours sleep. I can't work out today. That's just not beneficial. That's not optimal, whatever. You got to pony up. You got to pony up because you either want to get better, you either want it or you don't. There's no two ways about it. You either want the gains, you want the strength, you want the muscle, or you don't. You want to get better or you don't want to get better. That's the only way to cut this thing, okay? And so, yes, ideal circumstances, 7-8 hours of sleep, great. Yes, be smart. Don't hurt yourself. If you're super tired, awesome. I've talked about this before, so we're not going to go into that in depth. Really, I just want to motivate you that you got to get in there and you got to put in the work and you got to put in the time. And you can't just wait until circumstances are ideal or perfect or great. If you want to experience the gains and be the best version of you, oh my God. That means overcoming the mental hurdle of training on 4 or 5 hours of sleep or training with the less optimal approach, because you just do it. You get it done. You don't wait around and beat around the bush, dilly-dally around. Okay, and so this video, I hope, motivates you to think a little bit differently whenever it comes to your training. It may be other areas in your life, I don't know, but are you putting in the work and getting it done no matter what? Or are you just dilly-dallying, waiting for the perfect opportunity? I'm just going to wait until this. I'm going to wait until that. Whenever this thing happens, then I'll do that. Stop thinking that way and just get out there. And if we're talking about the gym, get freaking strong. That's my sump pump. You get the point. Take a tour of the place, okay? This is where we're at. This is where the real chit chats are going to happen from now on. Down in the deepest of sacks within the spider sack. Yes, the spider sack is the home gym over on the other side of this wall. That's where the gym is, the spider's sack. But this is the lair of the sack. This is a sack of sacks. The spider's sack. Because there's nothing going on down here besides storage of unused wood, unused paintings, ladders, and let me not forget the most important, the cup of joe.